All right, sports fans, let's dive into this. Here we go. Season's over. Let's see what's next. Stay tuned. All right, Dolphin fans, welcome once again to Sports Night with Jorge. Once again, guys, disappointed day if you're Miami Dolphins, but hey, that's okay. We already knew it. That by the time the game was over, Denver Broncos was beating the Chiefs 38 to nothing. So the only thing I'm worried about is the controversy that Tyreek just started with the ball club, which is a joke, guys. I mean, he is a captain of the team, and apparently he didn't play in the third quarter of this game or the fourth quarter. He benched himself out, according to McDaniel. He didn't know what happened. He thought he had an injury or something like that. So that was one of the comments that McDaniel said this afternoon. But let me get to this, guys. There's a score: the Jets 32, uh, Miami 20. Unfortunately, things happen, man. But before I get to a statistic, let me tell you what Tyreek Hill just said. He wants out of Miami. According to that, he said he was thanking the fans in social media, and he was asked on the locker room, and he said that he's going to do the best for his family, that he needs to move on, and you know he's done great things here, but at the end of the day, guys, we got to take things as men's. You know, it's a win or loss situation. Your chances weren't that big anyhow. Let's look at it. Yeah, they would have won this game. Denver would have lost against Kansas City. You know, look at the Bengals. They took it like they took it, and they move on. I mean, that's part of the NFL. This is why it's important to win your games in the middle of the season, especially on when it counts. And sometimes, you get into a situation that you get injuries, and what happened is you can't win your games. So unfortunately for Miami, the season is over. I'm disappointed, no, but the rumors go out there and start saying, fire McDaniel, fire this, fire the coach, fire Weaver going as a head coach, and Selleck, the guy that former New York Jets coach, becoming the defensive coach of Miami, getting saying that my career might retired. You hear so much to the social media. You don't know to believe anymore, because that's what social media do to you. That's what they do, and people like to get involved with that. But in a positive note, the owner Stephen Ross uh, delivered a statement, and he basically said nobody will get fired. And this is what Stephen said. This is from the chairman of the board, managing general partner Stephen Ross. I want to thank all the players and coaches for the hard work throughout the 2024 season, as well as all the fans for their support. As the owner of this team, I am ultimately accountable for all assets and failures, success and failure, sorry. We fell short of our expectation this season, and I understand and share in my frustration to our performance on the field. As as we now look towards 2025, our football operations will continue to be led by Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel with my full support. Their positive working relationship is an asset to the Dolphins, and I believe in the value of stability. However, continually, a leadership is not to be confused with a acceptance that status quo is good enough. We will take hard look at where we have fallen short and make necessary changes to deliver our ultimate goal of the building and sustaining a winning team that competes for a championship. All right, let me start by saying this. The only way you're going to start that is by fixing your offensive line. I know we're disappointed. I know we were frustrated. We're not happy with what happened to the team today. But eventually we have to be honest with ourselves. Why? Because, it was a win-loss situation. You had so many things that need to occur for you to make the playoffs. Yeah, they were close by. They made us as far. But we as fans, we get angry, we get upset, but we don't look at something very important. Look at the second half of the Miami Dolphins. You know what Tyreek Hill said. He said under frustration. I don't think Miami can afford to trade him this year. Probably next year. It will hit their cap money, so they'll be quite, I won't say dumb enough to make that trade or put him in the trading, because Miami's they're young, man. Just look at the stats today in the game, guys. And I'm gonna go back to Stephen Ross for a second about him and getting this team back with Greer and McDaniels. McDaniels do have to give up play calling. I think he does. I think he needs to coach the team much better. There's things right now that I looked at that I'm worried about the team, especially the health of Tua Tagovailoa. Let's start with that one. Okay, people. I mean, and I won't say people, fans, man. We hate losing. Okay, yeah, we lost to the Jets. Okay, it's a rivalry game. I knew that was coming. I mean, it was either or. Don't fall asleep. Snoop had four turnovers in the game. I mean, it's kind of hard when you see that. I mean, that's part of football, but unfortunately, at the end, I mean, we ran out short, and let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers, not Brett Favre, sorry. Aaron Rodgers was gonna just continue to his career, see what's gonna happen. Wow, he show up in the last game of the season. I mean, we could say that after going 4-12. I mean, you decide to show up at the end of the season. That's ridiculous. Now, I don't think he's coming back. He might be retired. Who knows? But I'm gonna give you some statistic of the game for a second, and then you know, uh, I love Calais Campbell getting a sack, getting a reward for his sack. I mean, the guy's amazing, man. We can't complain about it. The guy's amazing. But let me give you the total yards for Miami: 334, 375 for the Jets. Okay, Tyler Huntley was 25 out of 41, 227 yards, one TD. Aaron Rodgers was 23 for 36, 274, four TDs. Devontae A-Chain, man, what can I tell you about him? The guy, once again, 11 carries, 121 yards, one TD. Brees Hall, 12 carries, 57 yards. Juno Smith, a great year, man. 9 receptions, 56 yards, one TD. Devontae Adams, 6 receptions, 88 yards, one TD. That's it. The season's over. What can we do? What are the next step for the Miami Dolphins? What are they going to do? What are the changes? We just don't know. We got to look at draft, trade, free agents. We got to look at all that, so. And I know as fans, we're frustrated. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to ask yourself, okay, look at the injuries. And remember, they started 2-6. And they finished strong at the end. But they lost to the Jets at the end. Unfortunately, that's part of football, guys. There's no other way you can see it. We lost 32-20. It was a close game, and then we know they took off, and then, of course, four turnovers. What are the odds of winning with four turnovers? Zero, basically zero, because you can't turn over the ball. I mean, Tyreek Hill comments were made under frustration, under anger, and I understand he wants to win. But sometimes I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Your ego and your pride, you gotta let that go, man. Miami has Malik Washington. They got Jalen Wright, the running back. They got Devontae A. They got weapons. It's just their offensive line. It's just the frustration of losing. And what would have happened, Tyreek, if he made that comment and you guys would have won today? You still wouldn't make the playoffs because Denver won. You see what I'm saying? Just look at that picture. Look at that scenario. I'll tell it to everybody. So I'm gonna continue to check on all the NFL games, but which tonight we have a good one between the 14-2 Detroit Lions and the 14-2 Minnesota Vikings. That's a heck of a game. And you were watching, it was 10-6 Lions at the half. So third quarter's about to start. Already started, actually. It's like 11:50 left in the third quarter. Things happen, guys. It's like this game tonight. They're both 14-2. Somebody's gonna go to the fifth seed. Somebody's gonna be the division champion. Somebody's gonna be the number one seed, and they have a bye. Football is it's just unpredictable, guys. And we gotta stay positive. We can't stay negative. We can't get mad at this. Your frustration. I understand your frustration, but this is the Miami Dolphins, and a losing season. The last time I had a losing season when I think when Flow started in 2019, if I want to be short. So it's been a while, but you know what, man? It's part of football. That's all I can tell you. It's develop. Uh, McDaniel got to turn his play calling in. Uh, we don't know what's going to happen to Weaver. If Weaver's going to get a coaching job uh, someplace else in the NFL. Look at that. The guy, the New England Patriots coach Mayo got fired today. First season as a coach. Kraft just let him go. Plain and simple. What I see about that? Not giving up a chance, opportunity to a guy. Just his first year. You know what he had. I mean, what was Kraft thinking? You're gonna win it right away when the team has to be developed and coaching and skills, and there's so many things that goes into football. Okay, but one thing I'm gonna tell you: the pride and the selfishness and the ego. If a player has it, man, that is cancer in your football team, and you gotta let it go. Let's be honest, you gotta let it go. Even though he could be the best player, it doesn't matter, man. 11 defense, 11 offense. I've been preaching this all freaking year, man. 53-man roster. Why do you go through a draft pick when you don't even play the player? When you don't give the person the opportunity to play? I know there could be changes in Miami. I know they are. But it's not a dramatic, like it seems like, fans are doing it, especially fanatics. It's okay. It's the end. You know, they bounced back in the second half, ran out of gas, if you want to say it, and that's it. They actually playing with a third string quarterback, and then they made him the second string. Let's think about it. You might think Huntley was this always a second. No, it wasn't because it was Tyler and then Huntley. Then they put Tyler to number three, and then they cut him and set him back up. And Tua didn't play his games. Tua, I think, has missed over 20 something games in 5 years in the league. If we only had two more wins, me and you and anybody here will not be talking about anything, just waiting for the playoffs to start. Now, one thing I want to say about the teams that are struggling, Pittsburgh Steelers. Steeler fans, listen, I'm disappointed. I picked Steelers to win between the Steelers and the Ravens. Now you got to go back to Baltimore. Mike Tomlin has his hands full now. You know, and I can't blame Wilson. Pickens, how many balls did he drop in that game? There you go. You got to get rid of a guy that says, hey, man, you're not working out. And even though Russell Wilson went to the sideline and talked to him and said, it's going to be okay, man, it's going to be all right. But he was dropping passes. There's sometimes there's players in your team that don't want to play. But it doesn't, it's like McDaniel said today in one of the press conference. I had players that wanted to play to the end. And I guess some players didn't. Well, those players that didn't should not be in your team next year, period. Or this year. Sorry, because we're already 2025. This is where I have to say you got to make a change. And McDaniel has to make a change. According to, you heard it from Ross Statement, they're both back. And what everybody did today after Miami lost, we want them fired. That's easy for you to say, but you don't know that. Yeah, it is frustrating. But what can you do? But anyhow, let me start by saying this. I didn't start the program. Thank you so much that have subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. Give me the thumbs up. Be sure you leave a comment. Um, Once again, back to work tomorrow. I will have a full recap Monday night, tomorrow Monday night, on my podcast, and we'll talk about all the playoff, all the scenarios, because right now there's only one game left, which is the Minnesota Vikings and the Lions. Whoever wins, like I said, wins the division, gets a bye. Whoever loses goes to the fifth seed, which is incredible with a record of 14-3. Whoever loses it. So, but it's set. The playoff is set. I know we have. Let me look at my playoff pictures here because I had this afternoon and I was updating it. So we got the Broncos going to the Buffalo Bills. The Chief has the bye, of course. Then you have the Steelers going to the Ravens, and then you got the Chargers going to the Texans. That's on the AFC. What we're waiting now is the NFC, which now we got Packers going to Eagles, Commanders going to the Buccaneers, the Vikings or the Lions go to the Ram. Whatever it changes, which one it changed. So, and that's your playoff, and then I do a Monday recap, give more information what happens. There's a lot to talk about, not only Miami Dolphins, but there's a lot to talk about in general, all sports. So once again, man, thank you so much for joining in. You guys have a blessed night, and talk to you guys soon. And once again, man, don't forget to subscribe. Sports Night with Jorge. Love you guys. God bless, and see you guys on Monday night.